Hey, what's up guys? My name is Rob. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do my first ever pickups video just because, you know, I've never really done one and they seem pretty fun. I like watching a lot of other people who I follow on YouTube kind of do the same thing. It always seemed like a lot of fun. I recently picked up quite a few things all in the same day. So I figured this would be kind of cool to be able to talk about some gaming-related things. Only two things are actual video games, so we'll see here. But I'm going to go ahead and get to the first thing that I bought, the first of two here, and I finally was able to pick up my Mega Man Amiibo. My Mega Amiibo, which is pretty sweet. This one is pretty rare. Actually, the two that I'm going to be showing you are really rare. And that's why it's kind of exciting to be able to show them off and talk about them a little bit. What's really exciting about this and the other one I'm about to show you, which I'll just go ahead and do it now anyway, who is Sonic the Hedgehog, my man. I don't care what the haters say. I still love me some Sonic. What's cool about this is these are two of the third-party Amiibos. Actually, the only two third-party Amiibos. Pac-Man's coming soon, but right now I'm pretty sure these are the only two. Is those two suckers right there. Really awesome looking. What I've noticed with most of the Amiibos is that really the best looking ones are the simpler ones, are the more cartoony characters or the more old school characters. All the Fire Emblem characters are great. You know, Link and Zelda and stuff look awesome. I haven't seen a Sheik yet. I'm sure she looks fantastic. I do have Shulk. He looks awesome. Those are great. They're really detailed, kind of more complicated, more realistic looking characters. You know, they do look awesome, but something about the really simple ones, like Sonic, like Kirby, Bowser, Pikachu, these are the ones that I think look the best because, you know, Amiibos are just little tiny figures that are meant to be little video game characters. And the video game characters with the most simple shapes and the least complicated color palettes, they just turn out fantastic. Those big eyes, you know, those like big cartoony video gamey eyes, they look more expressive than the really tiny little anime eyes of Shulk or Ike and things like that, I think at least. So these are really hard to find. They're going to be really hard to find. Again, I had to pre-order them just to get them, and it took them forever to freaking get these things in. But they just came in yesterday, so I finally was able to go and pick up Sonic and Mega Man. Since I'm moving soon, I'm not opening any more of my Amiibos, and I've actually boxed up the previous ones I had already opened. So right now, every Amiibo that I have and will get are going to stay boxed until I move into my new place in the new state that I'm moving to soon. In which case, I'm going to display them all. I'm not so afraid to open these boxes and set these things up. They're just $13 figures. I do want to keep all the boxes, so I'll keep them in good shape for sure. But I'm going to be opening them up pretty soon. So anyway, those are the first two kind of fun things. I'm going to get to some gaming things real quick, because I did also pick up two games the other day when I went to pick these up, and this is very interesting. I have two very different games for two different systems to talk about. So, the first one is going to be the controversial one, and that is going to be Evolve. I went ahead and decided to finally pick this game up. Now, I was excited for Evolve for a very long time. I think part of the way through the year, last year, 2014, I actually made a list of my 10 most anticipated games for the second half of the year. And at that time, Evolve was still set to be a holiday 2014 release. And everything I had heard about and seen from this game looked awesome. I thought the premise was fantastic. The visual design looked really cool. I really liked the tone and the setting. And I liked the idea of four versus one, and the four people who are human characters are working together, and there's a tank, there's a healer, there's a buffer. All these things are really cool, and I thought that it sounded and looked pretty awesome. And I believed in this Turtle Rock team, because these were a lot of the same guys that worked on Left 4 Dead, and I love Left 4 Dead, obviously. So I thought this was going to be really cool. Fast forward a couple months, right around the time that this came out, and through the holiday and all that stuff, and I just couldn't get behind what was being done with the DLC plans. The season pass, keeping all these monsters and other characters out for, purchases down the road. The statements that Turtle Rock came out with, and where they basically said, we designed this game with DLC in mind from the ground up from day one, and we need to sell this game for more than $60 a pop to be able to feed our families and do all these things. And I don't want to get too deep into that. I have a lot of opinions on that topic. ultimately, you know, what it boils down to is that I didn't like that practice and that business model. I appreciated that they were upfront about it, and that will never go unnoticed from my perspective. But I definitely didn't like what they were doing, and it was further exemplifying a lot of the bigger problems with what a lot of the third-party companies are doing with their games nowadays, and just for the gaming industry as a whole is leading to, mostly with the exception of Nintendo, but we do know that Nintendo is stepping into the DLC market right now as well. Granted, they've only done it fantastically so far with their 2 games, Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors. You know, there's a lot of content. It's very reasonably priced, there is no doubt. But even the fact that they're stepping into it, oh my gosh, sorry. Even the fact that they're stepping into it, and even the free-to-play games, which we know they're doing pretty soon, still makes me nervous because that may get diluted down the road too. And Nintendo's certainly not perfect as much as I love them, and they may fall into the same traps down the road. Let's hope not, but who knows? So DLC and the way these games are being handled nowadays, I don't love it, and this game represented the worst example so far. And I was like, don't you dare start thinking you need to start selling all this crap from day one with DLC. But after a couple of weeks, I started to realize that I still always thought the game looked good, and I thought that the gameplay looked fun. Now, my younger brother and his buddies, who are all part of the Free For All podcast, which you should absolutely check out on iTunes, it's a wonderful podcast, they have been playing this game quite a bit. They've talked about it a lot on Facebook. We got into a big conversation, you know, with my brother and his friends and stuff about this game, and they all seem to really, most of them seem to really support it. Some people were down on it, some people supported it. And there were some good points being made on both sides. I would talk about why I was disappointed. They would talk about why they thought it was a really good game. And I kind of came to realize that while I didn't like the DLC structure, I still wanted to believe in the gameplay. And my really good friend Evan also managed to mention in that conversation that I do want to give Evan Swafford a good shout out again, somebody from the Free For All podcast. Great, very smart chap, really good, positive gamer. And he made a really good point that, you know what, what he said is he still believes in a game is worth as much as you get out of it. And this is the kind of game, unlike the recently released Order 1886, that is built on online play, playing with your friends, and replay value. So to be fair, if this game had one map and one monster and one human character, but it was so fun that I could play it for months and years on end and still get entertainment out of it, even with that lack of variety, I was like, you know what? That still would justify its price. Good call. I know the gameplay is supposed to be still pretty good, so there's no reason for me not to at least try it. And so I did. So I picked this up. Now, I've only played it a little bit. This is just yesterday I picked this game up. I played 2 maps on my own in the opening kind of introduction portion tutorial where you start off as one of the monster, the Goliaths, and you kind of get that whole tutorial. And then also my girlfriend came over and I had her try a match against the monster too. And she's a gamer. She knows what she's doing, you know. So I had her try a map as well and watched her play, and kind of we talked about it as she played it. And so far, I didn't love what I played, I won't lie. I definitely haven't played enough to get too far into the details, and I have yet to play it with anyone online, including my younger brother and his friends, you know, who are also my friends. So there's a lot about this game and the experience that it's meant to give you that I have yet to experience. So my early opinion, which is not positive, isn't enough for me to totally, you know, disregard this game just yet. Now, I definitely got a pretty good idea of how it ultimately plays out, and I didn't necessarily love a lot of what it was doing. I feel like it overcomplicated the very simple idea of work with the team, destroy a big monster. The end. Like, and there's a lot of other things going on, and I've only tried it a little bit. So, I'm not writing it off yet, but I didn't love what I've played. I feel like it just felt like another damn game, another shooter with swearing, another, you know, very simple color palette, dark, gritty, gray game. And I love games like that, for sure, when they're very good. But it definitely doesn't feel unique and new and fresh like I was hoping it would. But I'm going to give it another couple days or week or so, play some online matches with my friends and with other people, and really sink my teeth into what the game is actually supposed to provide. I could see it going either way. It could go further down the spiral of shit, and I could be like, well, I really don't like this game. I've learned that they kind of ruined what should have been a pretty easy formula to pull off. Or I could learn, well, once you're really playing with good buddies and you're online and you're working together to beat a big monster, it actually is pretty awesome. So basically, the jury's out on this one so far. Right now, first impression, not as positive as I was hoping. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to my younger brother and mostly to my good buddies, Evan and Trey, who I know are big fans of this. and their buddy Chuck. I know you guys, we had a big conversation. Everyone was really positive, and I'm still not so sure, but I went out of my way to buy this with my hard-earned cash and try to support it and give it a good, solid chance. So even though I don't love it yet, I'm still going to give it a chance, and I can't wait to play with you guys online pretty soon. So we'll see how it goes, and maybe you guys can convince me. The other pickup that I got yesterday, was, in no surprise, not even as good as I thought it was going to be. Way, way better, because I wasn't quite sure about it going into it, but I knew I wanted to at least try it. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Obviously a huge Nintendo fan. And what I realized is this game wasn't super grabbing me. I knew I wanted to try it, and I wanted to support a first-party exclusive Wii U Nintendo game. But I certainly was like, well, it could just be okay. And I love... Kirby is actually one of my favorite characters, but a lot of his games are admittedly too cute for me. I'm a 34-year-old tattooed heavy metal band playing guy. It's like, well, some things might still be a little too cute for me to go near, even though I don't have too much of a cuteness barrier of entry. I was worried about this being too cute, and I was wrong. Not only is this game fantastic, it is way, way better than I thought it was going to be. And because of this, I've barely even wanted to put this in. Like, this game, which is way more probably designed for me and my age and demographic, way less interested in this so far. Granted, this game I'll probably be done with in the next day or two. But, god damn, this game, if you guys haven't played it, I've gotten some game footage. I'll be putting it up online in some videos in the future. And I might even do like a pseudo review of the game. Because this game, for such a simple touch-related premise, is way deeper, way more complicated than it seems. It's got a legitimate, really good challenge, and there's so much you can do. You might think, oh, you just draw lines and that's the extent of the gameplay. Oh no, there is way, way more to do. It's beautiful. I prefer this graphical style to this graphical style, for example. This clay-related stuff is just an amazing, amazing style for this kind of game. And, you know, Nintendo's talked about how there's like a documentary somewhere you can find, and they made all these characters out of clay molds, and they were filming them and doing stop-motion stuff. I mean, Nintendo went out of their way to do something really fresh and unique and really put forth the effort. This isn't CG-created clay. This is actual clay, and it works wonders. So there's not really a whole lot to talk about really this game yet, because it is pretty simple. It's Kirby. It's a sequel to Canvas Curse on the DS, which I had and loved at the time. You draw lines and make Kirby do a bunch of shit, and you just kind of make your way through a bunch of levels and collect things. A lot of substance. This game is also only priced at $40. So this is a complete game that required no updates or patches, is completely bug-free, gorgeous, and a ton of content for only $40. You can't argue with that. My boys Nintendo, good guy Nintendo, still doing the right thing. So this was a game that I had to be honest, I knew I wanted to try, but I really expected only okay things out of it, and I'm really glad that I picked it up. It has far surpassed my expectations. As I said on the Rule of Two Review Facebook page, I don't know why I ever thought I would doubt even one first-party Nintendo game. They're my favorite company for a reason, because no matter what they do, they end up knocking it out of the park, even if it's this weird, clay-covered, cutesy ball of shit. This is amazing. This is a great, great game. Again, I've always loved Kirby. He's one of my favorite Smash Brothers characters. His older games are fantastic. I have nothing against Kirby. I just was a little worried about the cuteness factor of this game alone. But damn, it is so, so good. So anyway, those are my pickups. Two really cool brand new rare Amiibos. Evolved for the Xbox One, which was, by the way, a really good reason to get another Xbox One game. I actually really love my Xbox One. I like it more than my PS4, believe it or not. But I don't have many games for it, and I haven't played it a lot lately. I've been playing my Wii U, my PS4, admittedly, for got back into Call of Duty, and also playing the Resident Evil remake, which is perfect, by the way. Please play and support that game. You know, so I've been playing my PS4. I haven't, and my new 3DS, of course, because Monster Hunter, hello, it's amazing. But I haven't had a reason to play my Xbox, and it's like, you know, I really like my Xbox. I need more games. Been talking about Evolve with my younger brother and his buddies. It's like, you know what, I'm going to figure this game out. It's worth the gamble. You know, I can pretty easily pick up a game if I'm just not sure. I can gamble on a game pretty easily. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go buy this game and hope that it works out. So like I said, the jury is out on Evolve, but I'm going to give it a good old college try for another couple, you know, days or a week or so, and really see if it finds its groove with me, because I do love shooters. I love mature shooters. Love them to death when they're good. So, and of course, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, goddamn, great game. So please, if you have a Wii U, support that game. I don't care if you're 5 or 55. That game is amazing. It is made for everybody. It is very difficult, and you will love that game. So that's pretty much it. That's my first pickups video. This was a lot of fun to talk about a cool, you know, a few new cool things that I picked up and all the freaking money that I dropped yesterday, kind of on a whim. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, if you want me to do more pickups videos in the future, please let me know. I like being able to talk about gaming things that aren't gaming, like the Amiibos, and I love talking about new games that I just picked up. I wish I'd played Evolve more. I'm going to try it a little bit more later tonight, too. I have to go back to Kirby because it's calling my name right now, but yeah, so that's it. You know, thanks for tuning in, and like I said, let me know if you want more pickups videos. Let me know what you think of the 2 games that I picked up, if you've played them, and if you have any opinions. Please feel free to subscribe to Rule of 2 Review, like, rate, and comment, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video for Rule of 2 Review.